Hi and welcome to VR Puppet Builds. Today I'm going to show you how to put the mouth inside the baby puppets. And if you've been watching, you would have seen my last few videos. I haven't been around for a week or so because I've had kids coming and going and finishing school and all sorts of things happening, and I've had Beth and Ben come home from uni. They're going to be here for a week. So lots of other busy family things have been happening. But I'll try and get this done for you. Alright, so we've got the head sewn and we've got a piece of felt that goes inside the puppet's mouth. And if you notice, it's not a round shape, it's an oval shape. So what I need to do is fold that in half, and I put a pin either end here and down here. And then I fold it in half the other way, and I put a pin here and a pin there, and that just shows me where those points are, because that's important in setting in the mouth inside the puppet. So using the pins as a guide, I'm going to get the first seam here that goes up over the top of the head, and I'm going to put that pin right in next to that seam, and I'm going to pin it into that position. So you'll use there's 3 seams you'll use, and then the middle of the bottom. So I'll pin that in place, like that. And then my next pin around the side is going to go where the next seam is. So I'll pin that in place. Using the pins just helps you to position this mouthpiece where it should be. And then the other side, where the other corner of the mouth is. Now down the bottom of the chin, there's no seam. What you need to do is there's a straight line across here, and I just fold that in half and find the center there, and that's where I put my pin for the bottom. Okay, and then these in-between parts, you can go along and just put in a couple of pins just to keep it in place. Okay, so you have your mouthpiece pinned in. That's what it looks like. Alright, and we're going to put that on the sewing machine. Going to go around the whole circle of that. So you just need to check your work, especially check the corners of the mouth, because a lot of times you can just miss it, and like I've done here, I've only just caught it. So I'm just going to put that back on the machine and make sure that goes in properly, catching that corner of that mouth. These are the little pieces in the corner of the mouth in the puppet, which are really important because that's going to get the most work out with a puppet. Okay, so just check all of your work, and you can flip it inside out and just see how this is going to work now. So you've got the mouth in. Okay, and that's basically all the sewing on the head done. Alright, so before we can do any more sewing on the body, we need to put the hard mouthpieces in here, and I'm going to put a piece of foam in here for the chin. Alright, so I've got all my supplies together to put the mouthpiece in. This board here, it's a thin MDF type board from the hardware, and I've just cut that out with a jigsaw. the foam that I'm using in all of the puppets is just a medium density 3/4 inch foam. I've got a scrap of fleece here that I'm going to glue onto there. The two glues that I've got is a contact adhesive, and that will be wherever I use the foam, and this clear quick drying craft glue is going to be where I use the felt or material. Alright, so I want to lay this out so it's about 1/2 centimetre or 2/8 of an inch gap in here, because that's really important. That's going to judge how good your mouthpiece works. So you need this gap in the MDF here. Now you could also experiment with foam in here so you have a soft mouth. I'm yet to do that. I would like to experiment with a soft mouth. So using the craft glue on this side of it, I'm going to just divide this in half where I can see each half of the board is, and I'm going to glue that. This is going to be my hinge, so you won't see this part. It's going to be inside the puppet, and I'm going to just lay that down here, making sure that glue, that gap in the glue goes over the gap here. Alright, so I'm going to just set that down and let that take. And while that's taking, I'm going to, this is another one of my modifications where I was talking about the chin in the baby puppet, how it was really square. Well, what I've done is just cut a little nick out of the foam, and I'm going to bring that up like that, and that will give me a nicer chin than the old style that I had. Right, so I need to just, using the stick, I'm just going to put a little bit of contact glue on there. Now make sure you're in an open area when you use this contact glue, because it's really smelly and the fumes aren't good for you. I've got all my windows open, but I usually do all this outside because I'm usually doing quite a bit at a time. Right, so we need to let that sit and become tacky to the touch before I can push that together. Alright, so let's get this part in. Now flip it over, and we've got this side. Now if you see what I mean, if that opens and closes really easily, your mouthpiece will work easily. If you have your wood too close together here, it's going to be a struggle. Alright, so I'm just going to lay that open, and I'm going to put this glue all over the surface where you can see all over the wood. Now you need to put this mouthpiece in and line up. You need to line up these corners here of the mouth, and that's where they will go in this mouthpiece. Alright, so lay your puppet out flat like that, the mouthpiece, lay it out nice and flat, and then flip it down on top, making sure you've got a corner of a mouth here and a corner of a mouth there, and then just go around and check. You've got a little bit of play time with this, not a whole lot, so you do got to work quickly. Just make sure everything is sitting in the right place. And just smooth that down on the inside with your hand. Just making sure those seams don't crunch up under there. That can cause little bumps and things. Alright. So you make sure those seams come out and it all sits flat. This would probably be the trickiest part, I think, of putting the puppet together, because the mouthpiece is the most important. That's the bit that's going to make your puppet work. Alright, now what we need to do is flip this inside out. Alright, so we're just going to... This is the most distressing bit because it does disturb your mouthpiece just a little bit. But then work quickly. Oops, sorry about that camera hit. And pull all the fleece down, and then just pat it down inside. Okay, pulling on the corners of the mouth like that, making sure it works good. Okay, that's looking good. Just pulling it all nice and tight, and that's your mouthpiece in. Okay, so just go along and just smooth it all out. Okay, now let's go back and check this. That's tacky now, so we can just push that together. Okay, and that's going to be then the bottom of your chin, so you need to put more contact glue along here, but I'll show you what to do. Alright, so once we've got that done, we need to get back inside the puppet to put this foam under the chin. So just pull back the fleece just a little bit like that, so it exposes this bottom part of the mouth. Now I need contact glue along here. Just be careful if you are using a light coloured puppet that you don't get contact glue on the fleece. And then we're going to put contact glue on this surface here. Okay, and wait for both of them to dry, and then we can put them together. Okay, so our glue is dry to touch, or tacky to touch. So what we want to do is line up one side, because once you start to put this on, it's going to not pull off very well. So that's why it's called contact adhesive. And you are just going to follow that mouth line around and glue your foam down. Once you've got it in place, just give it a good push on the board. Okay, and then turn it back in the right way. And give it a pull down over the foam. Okay, and you have your chin piece there. One thing I do want to mention is that in a lot of puppet building, if I just pull this back and just show you where I'm holding on to that for the mouthpiece, a lot of puppet builders put a strap across here. Well, just stay tuned, because the way I put my head foam in actually holds my fingers in there, so I don't need a strap. Okay, so stay tuned for the next video, and that's how I put the neck and the body on, and yeah, do the rest of it. Okay, so thanks for watching. Bye.